but
But
it's
it
broken
sure is
properly.
symmetrical.
Right.
It's broken as fuck, but it sure is symmetrical.
It's like this whole mental ecosystem of the things that got through away. Like,
Well, I mean, it's super weird. It's
I don't know that there is a logic. I don't know if there is a consistent structure to explain people. That's the problem. Is you're mapping out something that's not mappable.
it's critical mass, and then but critical mass in like layers. Like you reach a certain critical mass in terms of something, and people just perceive you a little differently. And then that adds to that critical mass layer, and then when that one critical mass, then another layer, and it's not just it's not necessarily shit you're saying publicly that's impacting them. It's they may or may not have interacted with you directly recently, but they interact with you differently
When what?
than they used to. For me,
Hmm.
for sure. Like this is why it's interesting hanging out with you in part, one of many reasons, but is that you don't come from a life history of you're the bad guy. You're the enemy team. You know, like you're the guys I hated. I always hated you my whole life.
I
Except
get
I
that.
never met you before though. That's the thing. I never met you. I met something that looked a lot like you.
I get that all the time, especially in here. I mean, it's universal. I mean, I can just tell that that's the instant perception. But kind of my whole life, I have, which I suppose I just took it and rolled it into something good.
So what do you mean by that? Like you've had other people tell you your whole life that you're the kind of guy they hate, or you're the asshole, you're the douchebag
People
guy.
don't. People meet me and assume the worst, or it's kind of a fear reflex. I think guys perceive me as a threat, and girls perceive me as a risk with
I
certain.
I perceived you as somebody who I want to talk to again because you didn't. I didn't perceive you at first as that douchebag guy at all.
I was really uncomfortable with the format.
You were really uncomfortable with what?
It was 3 a.m. I was spun, and I wasn't planning on interacting at all. And I didn't like cameras. I've never liked cameras. It took a lot being on something that was both filmed and that I knew was going on the internet was way uncomfortable.
Huh. Well, I mean, the thing is, when I dealt with you, I didn't think of you. I didn't really have any opinions. I didn't know you at all, obviously, and you weren't being very um, lugubrious. Is that the word? Talking a
It,
lot. You know, the opposite of taciturn. Uh, talking. You weren't saying a whole lot of shit, and so I was confused by you in general. I was like, what the fuck's going on here with homie? You know.
I was uncomfortable as shit, and you probably. I know that you do. I've seen you do. When you walk into a room and you're just kind of going. I mean, people either seem to register as needing attention, or they're just assumed to fall in line behind you. And I came in at the end of the night. You and Zach were shutting down. As I came in at the end of the night, you already had momentum.
Oh, so I've been going for a while.
Yeah, you guys were about to shut it down. And you're like, anyone here new before you? well, should we call it 9? Is it? Oh yeah, is there anyone in here that's new that hasn't been typed yet? And I said me. And then you turn back around and say, yeah, you had full momentum going already, and I was not very assertive. I wasn't jolting you out of that.
Well, I
I,
mean, the
I
thing
was
is,
amazed.
well, yeah, and the thing is, it would have been interesting had you come at it more like Piao Piao. I wonder how it would have played out. I don't know. But um,
I actually would before I'd ever come in here. I'd seen enough of the videos that I wanted to piao piao at some point. Um, I didn't come in looking for piao piao the first time, but I did have every expectation of piowing down with you at some point.
or we did get right to it. We just didn't Piao on the first date.
All right.
And here I am sitting in judgment of that poor woman. What is wrong with you, Eric? So, anyway, yeah, and we tried to Piao, but there wasn't anything to Piao about.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking for openings.
Yeah.
Like,
There was a while when I was getting ready for I had my blocking arms up, ready.
I was shadow boxing.
I wasn't really sure about. I just sort of had my. I'm pretty sure my plate mail armor is good here. Well, I mean, you never know. He seems to be pretty good at that. You gotta watch out. And yeah, but I don't know. It took me a while to get that. Like, oh, you're one of those guys. It, that's not how I first perceived you. I think probably because I first identified with like, oh, he's operating on a much.
I was buffering too,
You were buffering. What does that mean?
cushioning. I mean, the slow boil. I didn't come out like Audra.
What did Audra come out like? I don't remember.
Audra came out on the scene like, "Hey, I'm Audra, but I'm a dude, and I fight, and I've got bigger guns than Taylor." I mean, she just was like, "Ta-da! I'm here in all my Type 8 ENTP ness." I uh, mostly because of Zach, because Zach was going to magnify my behavior.
Zack attack.
Zach, old
Old
host Zach,
Zack. Old
as
Zack.
a reference point to me, he's going to make anything that I do look more assertive.
Hmm. Well, I think I missed Audra the first couple days she was here. It's like I didn't really see her much. I think
Did
something might have had her checked by the time I showed up and really started talking to her, and she didn't really say much.
Did you know that Katie asked her if she's a lesbian? Did you know that?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, Katie asked her just straight up. She actually interrupted the conversation. Is, hey, Audrey, can I ask you a question? Which she did in a very pulled it off great, which is one of those ISFP things, I guess. But Audra's not a lesbian. She basically, without saying it, says she's kind of asexual. Doesn't see what the big deal is, this and that. And I've determined, I believe that she is the either the ultimate example of sexual reproductive non-viability or whatever you said, or she got a jolt into reproductive viability that made her type 8.
I don't understand. Can you explain that last part?
She either, yeah, you got the first part,
Yeah.
or basically was probably raped. Yeah, happening and kicked back against it. She's got a very her response and just everything about her shows a lot of discomfort with.
I mean, I read that as she sees herself as not reproductively viable. She understands that she's going to be like single
I
her whole
think
life.
that's more likely.
I mean, that's how I read it, and it's why I try to remember to at least some of the time move the conversation away from that topic when she's in the room, and some other people who are not so comfortable with it. It's unavoidable that people talk about it a lot because it's for me. I talk about it because it's my life that's happening. So I don't know what else. That's what I always talk about is my life that's happening
It's
along
a
with
topic
other shit.
to be addressed. I think it's a topic that people will gain value from. You're going to talk about people, saying they do things because they want to do good. I think that is something that could do good. It's shocking to me to see how many intuitives there are. There's a sea of intuitives out there who think the fuck out of things.
You want to make a video on that?
We can. I mean, you can roll it if you want. Um, yeah, that's fine. I don't. I'd like to see it before it goes up.